Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salam ala Sayyidil Anbiya'i wal Mursaleen wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'een. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa ahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, girls. How is everyone doing?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
You keep
Alhamdulillah.
smiling yesterday, thinking about that last person to enter Jannah.
Yeah.
I know, today I shared it during assembly, so I could see the girls, right? Everyone was muted, of course, but when I was sharing it during assembly and when I said that, Allah is smiling at that, all the girls, like whoever I could see, they were all like, it was so cute. You should have seen Aisha's face. That was like, that's the reaction she was doing. MashaAllah, so beautiful. But may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the fortune of that smile, right? Of witnessing that smile. And hopefully will not be the last one. We'll be amongst the first ones to enter, inshallah. And that's what we're going to talk about today. The ayahs that we're going to talk about today, again, they describe the bliss, that the joy that the believers are going to enjoy in Jannah. We started yesterday, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in ayah number 12, وَجَزَاهُمْ بِمَا صَبَرُوا جَنَّةً وَحَرِيرًا. And because of the patience that they endured, we reward them with Jannah and Sarir. Harir is basically silk garments. So like, the pleasures of Jannah, which we spoke about even yesterday, the familiarity is just in terms of their names. We don't know how they look. We don't know how they feel. We don't know how it's going to be, experiencing all of that. So what we're going to do is we can just let our imagination run wild and still not be able to capture. We will focus on what it is that we can do in order to get ourselves there. Because once we get there, we know we don't have to worry about anything ever in our lives. It's always going to be a smile on our face, right? Oh my God, that life, can you just imagine that life of perfection? Oh, subhanallah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues after he's talked about Jannah, and then he talked about the Sarir, and then he talked about, us reclining in the couch, on the couches. Sometimes when you go in your backyard and you have maybe, what do you call that? What do you call those? I forgot, the long chairs. They usually by the pools. What do you call them? Lawn chair?
Lounge chairs.
Huh?
Folding chairs, beach chairs.
Beach chairs, folding chairs. And you're just taking in the sun, right? You're lying in your backyard or you're lying by the pool. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like, you're going to be reclining against the cushy couches, and you're not going to be feeling any heat, right? And you're not going to be feeling any intense cold. Nothing is going to be intense. Everything is going to be like perfect. That breeze that touches your face and you feel like your insides have cooled because of that. You feel coolness inside yourself because of that breeze, right? That's the closest we can come to imagining it, right? So anyways, while you're reclining on your couches, the scenery continues. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions وَدَانِيَةً عَلَيْهِمْ ظِلَالُهَا, right? Daniyatan alayhim dhilaluha, the shade will be lowered upon them, right? So you don't have to go stand under a tree to seek shade, but the shade will be lowered upon you automatically. It's like everything is automatic. Everything is there. It's just serving you, okay? Everything in Jannah has been created to serve you, and it's just there at your service all the time. وَدَانِيَةً عَلَيْهِمْ ظِلَالُهَا وَذُلِّلَتْ قُطُوفُهَا تَذْلِيلًا. Qutuf is the ripened fruit, okay? The ripened fruit. So it is said that the literal meaning is the ripened fruits will humble themselves in the most humble manner. What it means is, like, how you want to pick the fruits from the tree, you jump or you try to reach with your hands. When in Jannah, you don't have to do all of that. You could just want it, right? You could just have the desire to have the fruit, and it's like the fruit is automatically being lowered in front of you. So imagine, Iman, you're reclining on a couch, right? Enjoying the breeze, and then you want to eat. What kind of fruit? What's your favorite fruit?
Mangoes.
And you want mangoes, and you're like, I wish it wasn't out of season. I wish it was a season of mangoes. Nothing of that. You just have that desire, just have that yearning, and mangoes will be lowered in front of you, right? So that's basically what Jannah is going to look like. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that in the next ayah, He says, وَيُطَافُ عَلَيْهِمْ بِآنِيَةٍ مِّن فِضَّةٍ. So all kinds of vessels that you can imagine will be circulated around them, meaning there will be servers. These are not people of this dunya. These are creations from Jannah who have been created just to serve us. So these people will be like circulating around you. Okay, ma'am, do you want this? Do you want that? What kind of a drink do you want? What kind of is this what you like? Is that what you want? All of that, right? So it'll be circulating continuously around you. وَيُطَافُ عَلَيْهِمْ بِآنِيَةٍ مِّن فِضَّةٍ. The vessels that will be made of silver, right? وَأَكْوَابٍ كَانَتْ قَوَارِيرَ. And akwab is the plural of kub, and from that word comes cup. Okay, so small cups that will be almost crystal clear. Okay, akwab, broken through cups that will be almost crystal clear, and they also will be silver. Imagine silver as crystal clear. You cannot even imagine that, right? So these are cups almost crystal clear, qawarir, right? And the qawarir is made, that crystal clear glass is like silver, like we can only explain in words. We don't know how this is going to look like, right? So qawarira min fidda qaddaruha taqdira. It will fill up to the exact measure, meaning it will have exactly how much you want. You know, when you go to the refrigerator and you click on and you press on 8 ounce or 12 ounce or 6 ounce, none of that. It's just in your desire. You just express your wish, right, in your mind, and it's taken care of. That's Jannah. No effort at all. Life is going to be so beautiful, inshallah. See you all there, okay?
Allah. Inshallah.
So, inshallah. Now, see, in order to say see you all there, let's talk about the first person who will enter Jannah, right? We spoke about the last person who will enter Jannah. Today, we're going to talk about the first person who will enter Jannah. And of course, without a doubt, that is going to be Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is said that he will be the first one to cross the sirat. He will be the first one to cross the bridge, and then he will go knock on the gates of Jannah. All right. And when he knocks on the gates of Jannah, the angels are going to ask him, who is it? And then he says, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then the angels will reply that we have been commanded not to open this gate for anyone but you. Okay, so the gates are opened for Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the first foot that enters or lays step in Jannah are that of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then once he enters, then he brings in his ummah. Soha, Iman, Asma, what comes to your mind at this time?
I'm flying in there.
We're flying in there, of course. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the wings to fly at that time.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, we need that. And what are the wings? We need the deeds, right? See, we all are part of the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We're the last ummah. Okay, after us, there's no other ummah, because there's no other messenger that is going to come. Even though we are the last ummah, and even though we are the smallest, right? And we are going to be here on earth for the smallest duration than the other nations, we are going to be the first ones to enter Jannah, right? Now, how can we qualify on that day and call ourselves as members of this ummah? What do you think we have to do? Simple words, nothing too complicated. What do you think is the criteria to pass? Like, you apply for your Richland courses and there's some criteria that you have to meet. What is the criteria that you have to meet in order to pass through these gates? What do you think?
Shahada.
Shahada, right? It's the testimony that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one, and that Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is our prophet. But those are words. What else? Just saying it is enough?
Believe.
Obeying, practicing,
implementing it, right? Implementing it. Sometimes we say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has obligated this. This is fard, so I'm going to do it. It's sunnah. It's okay. And we sort of like push it on the side or keep it on the side and don't give it the due importance, right? We don't think of it as important. Let me give you another beautiful story of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam that describes or is a depiction of his love for me and you. care for me and you. Okay, what is that? So one day Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he steps into the hujra of Aisha radiallahu anha, and Aisha radiallahu anha, she found him to be in a very good mood. Okay, so then she goes to him and she says, she requests him to make a dua for her. And he says, okay, I'm going to make a dua. So he makes a dua for Aisha radiallahu anha, and he says that, Ya Allah, forgive all of Aisha's sins. The ones that she did openly, the ones that she does privately, the ones that she knows of, the ones that she does not know of. Yani, a comprehensive list, right? Forgive everything. You know what Aisha did, radiallahu anha? Our mother, you know what she did as a response to the dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? She started to twirl around the room like a little girl. She was so happy. Okay, she was so happy. She was twirling until she fell and her head was on his lap. Okay, and then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he looks at her, subhanAllah, such a beautiful relationship between husband and wife, right? So her head is on his lap, and he says, Ya Aisha, you're so happy? And then she goes like, why shouldn't I be? You just made a dua for me. Of course I'm gonna be happy. You know what Rasul said? He said, this is the dua that I make for my ummah, not companions. Companions are the ones that so he just didn't say companions. He says ummah, meaning he included us and the generations that are going to come till the end of time. Whoever is going to be part of his ummah. This is the dua that I make for my ummah during every salah in my day. Even though he does not know us. Even though he does not know whether we are going to be giving that due significance, that due importance to his sunnah. If what we are going to be thinking of his sunnah, if we're going to be making fun of him, if we're going to be not considering him important enough, na'udhu billah, and there are so many Muslims amongst us that just don't give sunnah the due credit, that just don't understand that how important it is to follow the way of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And here he is, without knowing us, without having heard of us, he started to make dua for us. He made dua for us before me and you even came to be. That is the love of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam for his ummah. You know, if we love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's very simple. And this is one of the companions describing it. And this is the formula that we want to keep in mind, right? And with this we'll conclude. If we love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we love the Quran. Okay, we love to read the Quran because it's his word. We want to hear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And if we love to hear the Quran, then we're going to love Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam because he's the one who brought this message to us, right? And if we love Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then it is not possible that we do not love his ways, and his way is the sunnah. So it's all connected. Okay, it's all in one line, and we have to take it all together. We cannot pick and choose. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that tawfiq to understand that affection and compassion that Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam had for his ummah, and build appreciation for it in our lives, within ourselves, so that we can improve ourselves, so that we can adhere more strictly, more strongly to the sunnah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a mark of appreciation and gratitude towards him. The one who thought about us when we were not even there. He did not even know of our existence, if we will ever be. He continuously kept thinking about us, and he continuously kept making dua for us in his salah. How ungrateful we are. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from that fate. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Salamun ala al-mursaleen. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.